Life-changing revelation. Black teen calls his dad, inspiring the U.S. Attorney General to act. Malik Jenkins had always felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. Growing up in a struggling urban neighborhood, every step he took echoed with the stories of his family, the resilience, the sacrifices, and the dreams. His mother worked multiple jobs, her tired eyes alight with love for Malik, but it never erased the financial strain. Yet his late father, a veteran who served his country bravely, was the voice that lingered in Malik's heart. "Work hard, stand up for your community," he'd say, words that rang through Malik's mind like a bell of hope amidst the chaos. One crisp afternoon, as he walked through the bustling streets of his neighborhood, Malik stumbled upon a scene he couldn't shake off. His best friend, Tyler, was being harassed by the police for no apparent reason. The officers loomed over him like storm clouds, their voices sharp as daggers. Malik felt the heat rise in his chest, a mix of anger and fear that twisted in knots. He had been taught to respect law enforcement, but watching Tyler innocent and confused was like seeing his own reflection in a shattered mirror. The tension escalated within him, drowning him in a sea of emotions. "Hey, leave him alone," Malik shouted, stepping forward. It was a moment of bravery, yet the fear clawed at him. What if he became the next target? The officers glanced at him, their faces bored and dismissive, but something inside Malik snapped. He wanted to fight against the injustice, to scream until his voice broke. Yet he stood frozen, realizing his own inexperience in the battle for justice. This moment ignited a fire within him, forcing him to confront his beliefs. Desperate for clarity, Malik reached for his phone, trembling slightly as he scrolled through the contacts. His estranged father, an echo from his past, was the last person he expected to call. Would he even answer? But he needed guidance, so he pressed the call button. As the ringing tone filled the silent air, a part of him hoped for a miracle. "Hello," came a tentative voice, deep and familiar. "Dad, it's Malik," he replied, his voice barely above a whisper. Each word felt like stepping on glass. The silence was almost deafening. But then, words spilled out hurt, disappointment, and hope intertwined. They spoke of their past, the pain of absence, and the unyielding love that still bridged their distance. "You have to stand up, son," his father advised, creating a warm ember of strength. "Real change starts when you refuse to stay silent." Malik hung up, eyes brimming with tears, yet filled with a newfound sense of purpose. This conversation ignited a spark in him, a chance for redemption, not only for himself but for his community. Word spread rapidly through the neighborhood of Malik's courageous act, reaching even to the U.S. Attorney General, who saw in Malik's story a reflection of struggle and hope. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. With each step further into activism, Malik stood before a community meeting, heart pounding like a drum in his ears. The anticipation in the air was electric, a mix of hope and skepticism painted on the faces around him. Just as he took a breath to deliver his message, a voice rang through the crowd. "What do you really think you can change, Malik?" The sharp question sliced through the hopeful atmosphere, leaving a heavy silence in its wake. Malik's heart raced, doubts creeping in. But he knew the answer was crucial, not just for him, but for everyone who had been silenced. What would he say? The question lingered, echoing in his mind, setting the stage for the fierce journey ahead. Would he find his voice in a world so fractured, or would this moment slip away? The story of Malik Jenkins was just beginning, and the answers hung in the balance, waiting to unfold. Malik's mind raced as he took in the crowd's palpable tension. He spotted familiar faces, friends who had grown up beside him, and strangers who had come from different parts of the community. In that instant, he realized he wasn't just speaking for himself. He was speaking for them, all the voiceless and the marginalized. "I know it feels hopeless," Malik began, his voice steadier now, the rhythm of his heart matching his newfound confidence. "But hope is not just a word. It's a choice. We are the ones who can bring change. Everyone here has faced this weight, this injustice. But it starts when we stand together." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, a mixture of surprise and intrigue flickering in their eyes. Malik dug deep, recalling his father's words. "If we remain silent, nothing will change. We have power together. Power to demand respect, to call out injustice, and to lift each other up." "Yeah, but how?" someone shouted. The voice was rough, filled with doubt, but Malik welcomed it. It was a question layered with pain that demanded an answer. "By speaking out," Malik exclaimed, adrenaline surging through him. "By organizing, rallying, and demanding to be heard. We can create platforms where everyone has a voice. We can show them that we are not going to be ignored." With each word, the storm inside him calmed. Swelling confidence ignited his spirit as he saw laughter break across tired faces, his words slowly gaining traction. Change is not a passive act. It's in our hands. We have to come together, share our stories, and refuse to let our voices be drowned out. Little by little, nods erupted around him, eyes sparking with renewed determination. They were feeling it, the belief that maybe, just maybe, they could contribute to something larger. Unconventional hope began to fill the room. Amidst the growing murmurs of agreement, Malik noticed Tyler standing at the back, his expression shifting from uncertainty to a semblance of pride. That small smile felt like a beacon, and it lent Malik strength. This isn't just about protest. This is about community, helping one another, standing alongside our brothers and sisters in this fight. We deserve fairness. We deserve justice. As Malik's spirited fervor reached fever pitch, he saw hands rise, signaling agreement. A wave of emotion crashed over him, joy, relief, pride, all swirling together. "Let us create an action plan. Let us make this moment count." They began to respond, voices mingling with zeal. Ideas ignited like fireworks in the night, a neighborhood watch program, community workshops, partnerships with local businesses to offer safe spaces, meetings with local leaders to advocate for policy change. The ideas flowed, unstoppable now, fueled by Malik's fervent call to action. But just as excitement permeated the atmosphere, a sudden commotion erupted at the back of the room. Malik's heart raced once more, sensing something was off. A group of young men had barged in, faces tense, voices raised. "Who do you think you are?" one shouted, aiming a challenge directly at Malik. "You think you can change anything? You're just a kid." Fear tried to creep back into Malik's heart, but he clung to his newfound strength. He needed to respond, not just for himself, but for everyone who had dared to dream that day. Would he rise to the occasion or falter under the pressure? "Do you truly believe that we can't change our circumstances?" he asked, standing tall as the crowd grew curious. "Because I refuse to believe that our future is defined by fear." The air crackled with tension. The community's eyes locked on Malik, waiting for him to show them the way. Would he embrace this moment of conflict as a catalyst for growth? Or would it become another hurdle in a journey still in its infancy? In that fraught moment, Malik realized that the real fight was just beginning. Malik's breath quickened. The challenge echoed in the room, bouncing off the walls like a shot fired in the air. The group that had disrupted him stood firm, their skepticism palpable. They wore their anger like armor, ready to pounce on any sign of weakness. But Malik refused to back down. "Hey, I'm not just a kid," he said, his voice rising above the murmurs of uncertainty. "I'm one of you. I've lived it. We all have. And you may think it's impossible to change what we've been handed. But I'm here to tell you that we can. Together, we can rewrite our story." The crowd shifted, faces turning from shock to curiosity. There was a sense of anticipation, an energy crackling in the air. Malik could feel it, a tide turning, a spark igniting. "You think things will stay the same? That they should?" "No. He glanced at those who had nodded in agreement moments before. We can't let fear dictate our lives anymore. Don't you want better for your sisters and brothers? For our children, our future? The challenge hung in the balance, and for a heartbeat, the room was silent. Malik's eyes locked with the leader of the group, daring him to scoff, to deflate this hope. He could see a flicker of doubt creeping across the young man's face. "What if you're wrong?" he asked, skepticism still lining his voice. "Then at least we tried," Malik replied, his heart racing. "What's worse? To live under a cloud of what if for the rest of our lives, or to take this chance together?" A small voice broke through the tension. "We're tired of being ignored." It was a girl, barely older than Malik, her determination a mirror of his own. Hope pulsed through the air like a heartbeat. "Yeah," a man shouted from the back, emboldened. "What's the worst that could happen, except breaking the silence and demanding what's ours?" With that, a wave of defiance washed over the room. Malik felt the fear dissipating, replaced by courage. One by one, hands shot up, not just in agreement, but in a show of solidarity. The boy at the back, the one who had first questioned Malik, shifted nervously. "I don't know if talking will really make a difference," he said softly, but the weight of doubt had lessened. "Look around you," Malik called out. "This is the beginning. Everyone can't be wrong when they stood up to join us. This isn't about whether or not we can succeed. It's about taking the first step. We can no longer wait for change to come to us. We have to create it." The tension melted away, replaced by a wave of energy that felt almost electric. Every face in the crowd sparked with determination. "Let us show up for each other," Malik said, his voice resonating through the space. "Meet every challenge with resolve, every doubt with action." In that moment, something shifted. A sense of urgency and purpose filled the air. Ideas morphed into plans, speaking engagements, community events, an online forum to amplify their message. Malik smiled, feeling the passion radiating around him. But just as the plans began to take shape, he caught a faint sound from outside, the wail of sirens cutting through the night. His pulse quickened. "Stay focused," he urged, drawing the crowd's attention back to him. "We can't let fear sneak back into our hearts right now." Yet, deep down, he knew that this was just the beginning. The real fight was brewing, and they were standing on the precipice of change. Would they be able to hold strong against the challenges that lay ahead? As the sirens grew louder, Malik locked eyes with Tyler, who now stood shoulder to shoulder with him, both of them resolute. "Let us not shy away from what's coming," Malik said, a spark of determination lighting up his expression. "The time to act is now." That unyielding resolve solidified in the collective heartbeat of their community. Together, they would shape their own futures. But the real question lingered in his mind. Who, or what, was coming for them in the shadows? The sirens shrieked like banshees cutting through the charged atmosphere of the room. Malik's heart pounded, but not just from a noise. Something primal stirred within him. The fear he'd felt before was transforming into a fierce determination, igniting every fiber of his being. He glanced around, feeling the energy shift, drawing strength from the faces surrounding him. Tyler leaned in. "Malik, what if it really is them? The ones who want to silence us?" There was a tremor in his voice, the same unease Malik felt creeping in. But he couldn't dwell on it. "Then we'll stand tall," Malik exclaimed, the conviction lining his voice almost tangible. "We want to let them take our fire. They can't snuff out our voices if we raise them together." Murmurs of agreement spread like wildfire. Each heartbeat was loud, echoing their shared fear and courage. Malik took a step forward, the group's attention drawn to him like moths to a flame. "We've practiced being silent for too long. This moment, this is our song. We are no longer just individuals hidden in the shadows. We are a chorus." The sirens blared on a grim reminder of the reality outside. Malik's mind raced. "We have to get out there," he continued, urgency threading through his words. "Let us show them we exist. Let us make our presence known." For the first time, the idea of moving beyond a room felt right. Their gathering wasn't just a spark. It was the birth of something much greater. In that instant, A plan formed in Malik's mind. What if we take this energy to the streets? We can march, rally, make our stand known, demand what S do to us. The room erupted into fervor. Faces bright with enthusiasm, voices climbed in unison, a rising tide of resolve that felt unstoppable. Malik could practically touch the electricity in the air, the look of defiance swirling in his friend's eyes. Tyler pumped his fist, shouting, "Let us do it. Let us take our fight where it matters." But then, from the back, the boy who had questioned Malik earlier, the one with uncertainty still edging his tone, spoke up again. "What if they don't listen? What if they just try to shut us down?" His gaze darted nervously around the group. Malik paused. He understood that fear, but now was no time for it to resurface. That's true. They may push back. But think about it this way, what are we afraid of losing? We already live in a world where our voices are judged and ignored. Together, we have the chance to fight back. The crowd stirred, faces brightening as if something had clicked. Malik could feel the shift. A surge of courage coursed through. We can't control their response, but we can control our action. Let us stand firm. We're reclaiming our rights, our dignity. It's time to show them we matter. Then a girl shouted, "We'll bring our families, our friends, everyone." The commotion built as Malik gestured wildly to draw them even more into his fervor. "Yes, let us turn this into a movement. We'll gather at the park, wear our colors, and voice our story." With each word, Malik felt the power growing. The fire that lit within him now flickered and roared in those around him. But despite the excitement stirring within the group, Malik's heart still raced at the sound of the sirens. "We have to move now," he said, fear rippling through him. "No more waiting. We can start a chain, strike the match that lights this fire." As the collective energy surged around him, the sirens faded to a haunting distance, but the momentum built again. Malik found a deep breath, addressing his friends one last time. "Remember, we're not just fighting, we're claiming. Together." With that, they erupted into action, launching toward the door. The moment felt monumental, thrilling, but thoughts of what they might face outside loomed just as large as the intensity of their newfound resolve. Malik felt a flicker of uncertainty deep inside, but he pushed it aside as they stepped out into the night. A burning question filled the space. Would the world be ready for their roar, or would they meet unyielding walls of resistance? The air outside was electric. Malik's heart hammered like a drum as he stepped onto the cracked pavement, the cool night swirling around him. The darkness didn't feel intimidating. It was cloaked in possibility. He could see his friends breaking off into small groups, eager to rally their families and grab essential supplies. "Over here," Tyler shouted, his voice bouncing off the brick walls, threading through the sobering sound of distant sirens. Malik felt the thrumming energy radiating through him, filling the gaps of uncertainty that still tugged at the back of his mind. "Let us meet back at the park," Malik yelled, trying to harness the momentum. "Spread the word." People scattered, arms flying, voices rising. The excitement erupted like fireworks. Malik turned to face the street as the first drops of rain began to fall. He couldn't shake the nagging worry that had been pulsating in the pit of his stomach since they decided to march. Each drop felt like a challenge, like a test of their resolve. He marched forward, head held high, but his thoughts spiraled. What if they really try to shut them down? He made a mental note to call his dad once they got to the park. His father always seemed so grounded, anchoring Malik's thoughts when the chaos loomed large. The streets around them were busy. Cars whooshed by, some drivers staring at the group with curiosity, others shifting uncomfortably. But Malik focused on what lay ahead. This was at the defining moment. "Malik," a voice broke through his thoughts. It was Kira, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. "I brought my sign. It's perfect." Malik turned around, and for a brief moment, those swirling doubts dissipated. The sign read, "Our voices matter." It was bold, bright, and exactly what they needed. "Let us get everyone to come together," Malik encouraged, clasping his hands together. "We'll make our stand known." As they neared the park, Malik could make out the silhouette of other groups gathering. The tension in his chest eased slightly. Here, they weren't alone. There were faces familiar and new, all united in purpose, their energy coiling around the atmosphere, becoming something more significant. Suddenly, a loud horn blared, drawing their heads in its direction. A truck had screeched to a halt nearby. Malik's heart sank. He braced himself, unsure whether this was another wave of support or a harbinger of conflict. A figure climbed out, a woman with determination etched across her face. As she stepped forward, her voice rang out, cutting through the rain. "You all are doing something beautiful. Don't back down." Around them, cheers erupted, lifting Malik's spirits. This was what they were about, a community, a family marching together, echoing their belief that they belonged. Tyler nudged Malik, an excited grin plastered on his face. "See? We can do this. They're with us." Taking a deep breath, Malik spread his arms wide, soaking in the moment. The energy surged, every voice intertwining, messages blending into one resounding declaration of intent. But just as the crowd reached a feverish pitch, another horn blared, sharper, more commanding. A police car had pulled up. Malik frowned. He felt the shift around him. He could sense the uncertainty return, like shadows creeping back into the light. What would they do now? Would they push back, or would they listen? As the officers stepped out, Malik's mind raced. He needed to act, needed to stay brave. "Stay calm," he called out, trying to rally everyone again. "Remember why we're here. Together." But just as he turned, he noticed a familiar face in the crowd. It was his dad, standing firm, pride shining in his eyes amidst the sea of protesters. The sight filled Malik with conviction, and suddenly he felt that this wasn't just about one voice, but a cacophony growing louder, ready to break through any wall of resistance in their path. And as Malik reached for his phone in his pocket, an overwhelming thought filled his mind. Would calling his dad give him the guidance he needed to keep everyone united, or lead to unforeseen consequences? Malik's fingers trembled slightly over the screen of his phone. The weight of the moment pressed down on him, heavy like the thickening clouds above. He felt a rush of bravery. Maybe it wasn't just about him. Maybe it was about all those around him, echoing the same fears, hopes, and dreams. "Dad," he mumbled, feeling a surge of energy from the crowd. Each voice, every cheer wrapped around him, urging him to take the leap. But as Malik glanced up at his father, a rush of resolve warred with the fear of what could come next. His dad had always been a pillar for him, a lighthouse in swirling storms. "What should I say?" Malik whispered, almost to himself. Suddenly, a loud shout broke through his concentration. "Listen up, everyone!" It was Tyler again, his voice slicing through the murmur of anxiousness. "Let us just show them what we stand for. We're a wave of change." The crowd chorused back, "Change, change, change." Each repetition rolled over Malik like a wave, filling him with a sense of purpose. He gripped his phone tighter, half tempted to lift it to his ear and hear the calm strength of his father's voice. Then the police officers stepped forward, their faces stern. They held their positions, assessing the mass of people before them. Malik's heart raced. This was the challenge. Were they going to confront them or listen? Everything hung in the balance. "Remember, stay united," Malik shouted, a fire igniting inside him. "We're not here to fight. We're here to make ourselves heard." As if sensing the wave of unity building, the officers took a step closer, their eyes scanning the diverse crowd. Malik's gaze caught on the woman who had originally stepped out from the truck. She was standing proud, her sign held high, a beacon of solidarity. With each chant, it felt like they were carving their place in history, leaving footprints behind for others to follow. "Look at us," Kira shouted, her voice ringing clear. "We are here, together, and nothing can take our belief away." All around Malik, the words ignited a chorus of affirmation. People raised their signs higher, voices piercing the air. The rain picked up, but it barely mattered. They were soaked in unity, in conviction. Just then, Malik made his decision. He dialed his dad's number, watching as everyone around him united in shared purpose, even as uncertainty loomed. The connection rang, and he felt his heart beat faster, hope swirling in his chest. "Dad, I'm here. We're at the park. It's happening." He rushed through the words, his voice a mix of nerves and excitement. "There are police officers, but we won T back down. We need your advice right now." As his father's calm voice came through the receiver, guiding him through the tumultuous emotions, Malik realized that he was part of a moment larger than himself. The crowd pulsed with anticipation, hearts beating together, as Malik understood they were all standing together, united in the face of adversity. But then a startling sound reverberated, a loud clash, metal scraping against concrete. Malik's heart dropped. He turned to see what had happened. Fear flashed across his friends' faces as they followed his gaze. "What was that?" Someone whispered nearby. The crowd began to shift, confusion spreading like wildfire. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw one of the officers stepping forward with a megaphone. "Disperse immediately," the officer commanded, his voice leaving no room for negotiation. Malik's heart slammed against his chest, the vulnerability of the moment crashing over him. They had come so far, stood so strong. Would it all unravel now? He looked around, searching for Kira's bright eyes, or Tyler's unwavering grin. But all he saw was uncertainty washing over the crowd. Would they endure this moment, or would fear scatter them like leaves in the wind? And as tension gripped the air, Malik understood it was far more than a march at that moment. It was a front line, a call to arms. Would they rise together, or would they fall apart? Would this be the day that defined them, or just another whispered tale of what could have been? The megaphone's voice boomed, shattering the moment. "Disperse immediately." The officer's command echoed ominously as he pointed forward like a judge with a gavel. Malik's heart raced. The crowd responded instinctively, hesitant shuffles creeping into their ranks. Faces turned uncertain, eyes darted, confused whispers darted like fireflies in the dark of night. "No, don't let fear take over," Malik shouted, desperation rising in his throat. He took a step forward, feeling the damp earth beneath his shoes. "This is our moment. We're here, and we're not going anywhere." Kira caught his passion and raised her sign higher. "We want to be heard," she called out, her voice clear, cutting through the doubt weighing down their resolve. Others followed suit, raising their signs as if to shield themselves with pieces of cardboard and paint. "We are here to stay," a voice yelled from the back. The police officers exchanged glances, tension in the air thick like storm clouds. Malik tried to capture that fearlessness in himself and let it spill over to the others. The strength he felt from the crowd reinforced his belief. What would his father think? Would he be proud? Malik couldn't let doubt creep in. Not now. He felt the weight of the phone in his pocket, an anchor, a reassurance. His father's words swirled in his head. "Stay calm, Malik, but never shy away from standing up for what's right." It was as if his dad was right there, guiding him. "I need to believe that they're listening," Malik thought. The chanting surged again, louder now. "We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere." They were a wave, undeterred by the force trying to push them back. Malik felt the pulse of life around him, a heartbeat of resistance. And then he saw it, a shimmer of light catching on something beneath the officer's belt, a body camera glinting in the gray afternoon. "They're filming us," he realized. Every word they spoke, every chant they lifted, every emotion they poured into the air was being captured, possibly broadcasted to those beyond the park, beyond their immediate world. "Look," Malik pointed, and everyone turned. "They're recording us. They will see our determination. They will hear our voices." The crowd pumped with new energy. They lifted their signs higher, their voices mixing into a powerful symphony of hope. Kira was shouting again, "We will not disperse. Listen to us." It felt like a spark igniting a forest. Fear transformed into a unified front. Tyler joined in, the fire in his eyes mirroring Malik's as he added, "This is our truth. We have the right to be heard." Malik's insides twisted, a mix of fear and exhilaration. Would they really stay? Would they push past this breaking point? A sudden surge of wind swept through, and he could smell rain on the air, the electricity dancing above him. Then, as if sensing something was changing, the officer with the megaphone paused. His brow furrowed, his brows knitting together in contemplation. He looked past the crowd, checking for backup, or perhaps seeking guidance himself. Malik, a voice broke through his thoughts. It was Tyler, grabbing his arm urgently. What do we do now? Malik's heart skipped a beat. This was not just about chanting anymore. They had become a force, a movement. But would it be enough? Would the challenge before them open new doors, or just close them tighter? In that charged moment, Malik felt a burning need to make a choice, to lead the way. We show them we're not afraid, he declared. And with that, another roar erupted, people shouting, emotions overflowing. As the rain began to fall, a soft whisper, at first Malik's stomach nodded. Would this be the dawn of their history, or just a fleeting memory? Collectively, they surged forward, pulling Malik into their tide. And among the chaos, Malik finally spotted Kira again, her fiery spirit shining brightly. But then, through the crowd, another voice, an authoritative one, demanding attention. It pierced through the chants, and Malik froze, mouth agape. Everyone, we need to talk now. It was the woman from earlier, the one with the sign. She had stepped forward. What could she possibly want? Malik's heart pounded. The moment held its breath. Would she unite them, or push them apart? And as the crowd simmered with anticipation, he realized everything hinged on what came next. Malik squinted, the raindrops blurring the figures around him. The woman stepped closer, her presence commanding, yet somehow gentle, like a beacon cutting through the storm. As the crowd's energy shifted, Malik could feel the tension crackle in the air. She raised her hands, palms out, to calm the chaos. Listen, everyone. Her voice steadied the crowd, drawing eyes back to her. I know you're scared. I know you're angry. But we're stronger together than apart. Malik's heart raced. Who was she? Did she have a plan? The crowd quieted, their hope hinged on her words. My name is Angela, she started, her expression intense yet sincere. I came here today to stand with you, not just as a spectator, but as someone who believes in your fight. I've seen the system fail. I've seen lives changed by our silence. The crowd murmured, reflecting layers of emotion. Anger, hope, curiosity. Angela took a breath, her next words booming like the thunder overhead. We have a chance to turn this moment into something bigger, something that can't be ignored. What do you mean? Malik shouted, his voice piercing through. Angela took a step closer, eyes locking onto Malik's. I work with a legal team, and we want to help organize not just this protest, but future actions that can influence policies. Malik felt the crowd's energy shift again, excitement bubbling up alongside the lingering tension. But doubt lingered too. Policies? Are they really going to listen to us? Yes, Angela answered, her determination echoing through the raindrops that fell, thickening into a steady downpour. You have to understand, a movement starts with voices like yours. It begins with people uniting to demand change. If the pressure is strong enough, they have to act. Malik looked around, eyes scanning the faces of friends and strangers, some filled with skepticism, others with hope. Kira caught his gaze, her eyes alive with possibility. We can do this, she mouthed, her passion invigorating him. Let us form a coalition. Tyler called, emboldened. We can reach out to other protests, get more people involved, make our voices impossible to ignore. Yes, Angela clapped her hands, her enthusiasm contagious. Let us create a plan. We need to draw in allies, gather resources, hold the government accountable. The crowd erupted into a flurry of voices. Discussions sparked like fireworks. Malik could feel the warmth of unity building again, even as rain soaked their signs and skins, drenching their fears. This moment felt different, charged with a shared purpose. But doubt lingered in Malik's mind. What if this doesn't work? He thought. What if it all falls apart? What if it's just another empty promise? Malik glanced at the officer in the distance, still watching, as if sensing the shift in momentum. Suddenly, the megaphone blasted again, but this time it was different. There was no command, just a pause as the officer monitored the scene, gauging the crowd's response. "Keep pushing," Angela encouraged, her voice steady above the rain. "If we stand strong, they can't ignore us." With a deep breath, Malik made a choice. He raised his voice above the chatter. "We will unite. We will make them listen." Each word felt like an anchor, rooting them deeper into their mission. He looked to Kira, her eyes sparkling with determination. The rain felt colder now, yet inside, a warmth spread through him. They were stepping into the unknown, unleashing their message, a powerful wave rising against a tide of indifference. But in the midst of their newfound resolve, Malik suddenly received a vibration in his pocket. His phone. It was his dad calling. His breath caught in his throat. Should he answer? What would he say? Did his father know what was happening? Would he understand? The crowd continued to chant, their voices rising with an unrelenting spirit. But Malik's heart raced for a different reason now. Would this call change everything? As he hesitated, the weight of the world seemed to settle on his shoulders. What would he share? What wisdom would he gain? The moment pressed tightly against him, and, as he lifted the phone, he realized this was his chance not just to connect with his father, but to connect deeper with himself. Would the call inspire a change? Malik pressed the button to answer, heart pounding, eyes wide with uncertainty. "Dad," he breathed into the phone, feeling the roar of the crowd surround him, waiting to see what this moment would bring. "Malik, hey, son," his father's voice came through, sounding strained. The noise of the crowd faded momentarily as Malik focused on his dad's words. "Dad," Malik replied, pushing against the tide of overwhelming emotions. "I'm at the protest. We're trying to make a change. You and T believe what is happening here. Malik, I saw it on the news. I'm worried about you. Is it safe?" His father's concern was palpable, a heavy blanket weighing down Malik's spirit. It's okay. There's a woman here, Angela. She's trying to organize us. We want to hold them accountable," he explained, urgency leaking through his words. He was ready to share everything, the fear, the hope, the camaraderie. "Listen, son, I know you're passionate, but please be careful. Things can escalate quickly," his dad cautioned, and Malik could hear the underlying fear in his voice. "I know," Malik said. "I'm trying to help create something real. I want to fight for my future, for everybody's future." Each statement resonated with his growing determination. "People are coming together, Dad. I can feel it. We're ready to take action." Silence lingered on the line for a moment. Malik could hear sirens in the distance, the sound tearing through the rain-soaked air, reminding him of the stakes. Then, his father spoke slowly. "Malik, I want you to know that I'm proud of you. You're doing this for the right reasons. But don't lose sight of what matters most. Stay safe." The warmth in those words struck Malik directly at his core. His chest tightened, not from fear, but a swell of pride and connection. "Thanks, Dad. I'm scared too. But if we don't say anything, nothing changes. I can't let that happen." Another breath of silence passed, but it felt lighter. Malik's heart danced between hope and fear, uncertainty and courage. "I hear you," his father replied softly. "Keep your head up and your heart clear. I'm with you, no matter what happens. You're not alone in this." Hearing those words made Malik's spirit soar. He realized that while the storm outside raged on, a different storm brewed within him, a call for unity, for love, for understanding. "I won't let you down, Dad." And with that declaration, Malik hung up, feeling the energy shift around him once more. The crowd surged with renewed vigor. A wave of cries flooded the air. "Change is coming." Every chant felt like a heartbeat, thudding rhythmically against the ground. Kira grabbed his hand, her eyes bright with fierce intensity. "What did he say?" "Just that he believes in me," Malik replied, every word igniting a flicker of hope within him. "That's amazing, Malik. You're lighting this fire," Kira exclaimed, pulling him closer as the rain fell harder, but they were both shielded now by something deeper than the storm. Angela raised her voice again, now sharper and more infectious. "Let us move forward." The crowd reacted instantly, their voices growing louder, drawing strength from one another. In the midst of it all, Malik spotted the same officer from before. He stood in the shadows, a skeptical glance towards the gathering throng. Malik felt his heart race again, this time with a fierce resolve. Could they really do it? Could they change everything? As the rallying chorus enveloped him, Malik turned to face Angela, whose own eyes burned with conviction. We're gonna need a plan, he realized. We can't just be here talking. We have to take action. Yes, Angela responded, her enthusiasm contagious. But first, we need to reach out to others, get their support. This can't just end here. Malik nodded, feeling the pulsating urgency of the moment. He could see the power building, an unstoppable force fueled by collective voices. Let us make it happen. But as the excitement surged, Malik felt a nagging worry tugging at him. Would the officer notice the shift? Would they truly feel this unity? As he looked deeper into the crowd, he spotted something truly alarming, a glimpse of flashing lights growing nearer. What was happening? As the sound of approaching chaos began to drown out their chants, Malik's heart sank. The moment of truth was approaching, but at what cost? Would their united front stand strong against the looming threat? And then it happened. Would they be ready to fight for their voices? Would their burgeoning coalition survive the test? Malik's breath caught as he watched the pulsating lights grow brighter, almost mocking their moment of unity. Sirens wailed relentlessly, spiraling through the uncertainty like a knife. A chill rippled through the crowd, uncertainty clouding their faces as the police presence heightened. Stay together, Malik shouted, his voice breaking through the rising tide of fear. We are not backing down. Each word felt like a lifeline thrown into the chaotic sea around him. They had come too far. They could feel it in their bones. This was their moment. Angela stepped forward, her own heart racing. We stand firm on the rights of our community, she proclaimed, raising her voice above the unrest. We are here to protect and to demand change. Some hesitated, looking toward their feet, while others held the conviction of revolution in their eyes. Malik felt an electric buzz of emotion in the air, as if every person in that crowd was a part of a shared heartbeat, their hearts drumming in sync for justice. Remember why we're here, Kira shouted through the storm, raising her sign high above her head. For love, for justice, for every voice that has been silenced. The rain poured down, mixing with the tears of those who had silently endured for too long. Malik felt the power shift again as more voices joined hers, a cacophony rising, drowning out fear. Each chant grew louder. We're not afraid. We're not afraid. Malik's heart pounded. The noise was a whirlwind. Suddenly, before he could catch his breath, a commanding voice cut through the air. The officer from earlier was back, his expression unreadable as he announced, "You are creating a disturbance. Disperse now or face consequences. It's time to choose," a voice whispered in Malik's ear. He turned to see Tyler, eyes gleaming with fire and fear. What if we just keep shouting? Will it really matter? Together. We stand together. Malik yelled back, rallying the crowd. What do we have to lose? A wave of nods rippled through the people around him. They understood now it was no longer about the fear of retaliation. It was about embracing who they were and coming together for a purpose. We are demanding change. We are demanding respect. Malik continued to call, hands waving passionately, inviting them to join. Behind him, whispers transformed into roars, and the energy in the crowd became palpable. People gripped hands, their unity evident as they fortified their position. This isn't just a protest. This is our declaration. We demand acknowledgement, Angela shouted, and the crowd responded with chants that echoed down the street, rebounding from buildings like encouragement from the heavens above. But with the sound of their unwavering voices reverberating through the air, Malik spotted a group of officers starting to approach, their expressions grim and resolved. They were readying to interfere. Fear tugged at Malik's heart, but he channeled that energy into hope instead. Now, let us show them who we are, Malik shouted again, raising his clenched fist into the air. Together, we could be a force they can't ignore. The crowd erupted in a chorus of voices, every soul standing shoulder to shoulder, fueled by everything they had gathered in that moment. Courage, pain, hope woven tightly together. And then it happened. The officers hesitated. Tension hung thick between them and the crowd, the sound of chanting filling the air with a palpable energy. Malik felt like time had stopped, a breath held captive as he locked eyes with the lead officer. Would they be met with resistance, with strength, or with indifference? Finally, the officer raised his hands for silence, tension softened by a flicker of hesitation. They were listening. Malik's heart soared as shouts of "We are here" echoed like thunder. Their unity had reached a tipping point. "Listen, we hear you." The officer finally called back, almost surprised at the strength behind the voices that had clawed their way into existence. "But we need you to be peaceful. We can have this dialogue." Malik felt new hope unfurl in his chest, his heart racing with excitement. Dialogue? We want it. This is the first step. As the rain continued to pour, washing away hesitation, the community, led by Malik and Angela, transitioned from fear to possibility. They did not shy away from that moment. They embraced it. Malik felt unbreakable. They could influence change together. A plan began to form between the community and officers. The moment resonated deep within him. He had taken a leap. They weren't merely fighting for a cause. They were about to become the authors of their story, writing each line with courage, conviction, and unity. What's next? A hopeful voice called out from the crowd. "We create a plan," Angela responded, her energy radiating through every word. "We prepare for action. Together, we will take this to the next level." Tears of joy glistened in Malik's eyes. They weren't done yet, not by a long shot. This was just the beginning of turning the tide. Each heartbeat resonating through the crowd promised of hope, love, and determination as they took their first steps toward change. And Malik knew, deep within, that this ripple would become a wave, a powerful current shifting the landscape of their lives forever. Now was the time. He felt it in every pulse. Malik raised his fist again. "Can you feel it?" he shouted, his voice booming with confidence. "This is our moment. Let us fight for it together." The crowd erupted into a resounding chorus of unity, a powerful reminder of the strength that resided within each of them. They weren't just voices, they were movement. Malik smiled radiant, eyes shining bright. They had transformed fear into strength, isolation into unity, and it started with just one brave call. You need to subscribe now to catch all the upcoming stories that will inspire change and ignite courage in your heart. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to fuel the fire of the algorithm. Comment below, expressing your feelings and excitement about this incredible journey and what it means to you. And don't wait not even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation, this movement. Every single action counts in creating a powerful collective voice.